Right now, trick-or-treating underway in communities across southern Wisconsin. Some tips tonight to make sure everyone has a safe Halloween.
And the DCI says a detective was the one who shot and killed a wanted man in Oregon last week. You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Good evening and happy Halloween. I'm Charlotte DeLeste.
And I'm Eric Franke. Trick-or-treaters already out on the town all across Madison and southern Wisconsin. Halloween, though, not, of course, without some safety concerns. So AAA and other agencies have some tips for anyone going out tonight. McKenna
Alexander is in Fitchburg with what experts are saying tonight. McKenna?
Yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. I remember this was my favorite holiday as a kid, and it seems like that's the case for the kids we've seen tonight, too. Plenty of groups of trick-or-treaters. We're in Fitchburg right now on Targhee Street. Already, we've met Dinosaur. We've met some football players, some basketball players. One girl who says she doesn't know what she is, but that's kind of fun if you ask me. We also found some really awesome decorations on this street. You can see we have a skeleton who has some other little skeleton friends with him. We got some lights. Now, the owner of this home tells me Halloween's her favorite holiday. And if you couldn't tell, she said she has 18 crates of Halloween decorations, and because this porch isn't big enough, every year she just rotates which one she has. So make sure to come check out this house next year because apparently there are going to be some different decorations. Now, as fun as Halloween is, still some safety concerns, of course. So if you're out on the road driving tonight, you want to make sure to avoid neighborhood shortcuts, cutting through residential streets where trick-or-treaters are likely to be walking. Make sure to also watch for children walking on streets, medians, and curbs. And of course, one of the easiest things drivers can do is just slow down. For trick-or-treaters and their parents, go out together tonight, as AAA experts recommend parents accompany anyone at least until the age of 12. After that, if your kid goes out without you, make sure they're still in a group of friends or neighbors. Also, make sure to choose costumes that are highly visible and bring a flashlight with you. We've compiled a full list of the trick-or-treating hours in our area, ranging from Arena to Waunakee and everywhere in between. To see the hours in your town, just visit channel3000.com. Finally, have fun, be safe tonight, and don't let yourself get a stomach ache from all that candy, although I don't know if I can speak for myself. There are a lot of Skittles waiting for me at home.
All right, McKenna, thank you so much. And a live look from our station's Skycam. It's pretty tough for parents to complain about tonight's trick-or-treating conditions because we have certainly seen worse.
Yeah, when my kids trick-or-treated, I was always, snow on the ground.
Of course.
It was freezing, but this is quite a treat tonight, Gary.
Yeah, that's our sad story, Eric. I mean, when you were trick-or-treating, when you and I were trick-or-treating, we're lucky they had candy. Well, I'll tell you, this is one of the best Halloweens we've had across southern Wisconsin. Take a look at visible cloud track. Almost from sunup to sundown, clear skies across just about the entire state, except for the far southeastern corner, and even there it's been dry. The rain has stayed across parts of Indiana and Michigan. High temperatures today. Lower 60s closer to Lake Michigan where there's a little cloud cover, but notice 66 in Madison, 70 in Lone Rock, 69 in Boscobel. Temperatures have cooled off though. 56 right now in Madison, 60 degrees in or 61 degrees in Mineral Point, and across Dane County we're still seeing temperatures in the upper 50s, 59 degrees in Belleville, 59 in the town of Perry. Look for temperatures to drop off to around 46 by late evening. Trick-or-treaters probably seeing a temperature of about 50 by the time trick-or-treating ends around 8 o'clock, but mostly clear skies and even warmer weather's on the way for tomorrow. I'll tell you how mild it'll get in just a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. An update now on a shooting from Oregon last Sunday. The Division of Criminal Investigation is identifying a Dane County detective as the one who shot and killed a man wanted for a weapons violation. Detective Clint Seltzner has been placed on administrative leave per department policy. Deputies were searching for 21-year-old Jose Jimenez, who was accused of the violation. He fled on foot, but Seltzner later found him. Officials have not yet said exactly what led to Seltzner firing his gun. It's not often that school districts going to referendum for tens of millions of dollars can pledge to not increase taxes to pay for it.
In Waunakee, they are. Tahalil Mohadin explains why the district says the extra money is needed and how they're planning to maintain current tax rates. Tahalil?
That's right. Waunakee's middle school is so full, some students learn in portable classrooms. With even more students expected in the years to come, the district sees next Tuesday as a vote that must pass.
In Waunakee, it's fairly easy to do the math. Too many students and not enough space.
So we're bringing it to the community with that in mind.
Leaders from the Waunakee Community School District want to plan ahead, but it comes at a steep price. $175 million now to make room for the many students they expect by 2035.
We first would have to build the Heritage Elementary, and then once that is completed, then we could commence with building the middle school. So that's a 5-year build-out.
To make their vision for 2 new schools a reality, district leaders are turning to the people who live there, asking them to vote yes on a referendum come to build the new schools.
We've been very cognizant as a school district to look at what people are paying in their taxes. We've tried to keep people's tax, what they're paying as a household, relatively stable over time.
On its referendum website, Waunakee touts its financial strategies to make this a net zero increase in tax dollars. And district leaders say planning for the future doesn't just mean creating more space.
It'll bring a much more modern learning environment for those children. And then as we are able to build a new middle school, really a similar type of amenities as far as how kids learn and how our teachers teach.
But Waunakee also needs help keeping the existing schools simply running. It's why Waunakee is asking for an additional $10 million over the course of 3 years. Leaders say both projects are crucial for the district's future, and so far, most feedback has been positive.
We will see on November 8th really where the community weighs in and what direction they give us for the future of our district.
If the referendum passes, Waunakee would build a new heritage elementary school at a different site on Woodland Drive. That's a more rural area. Once that's complete, the old school built in 1936 would then be torn down, and in its place, the district would build the new middle school.
New at 6, Senator Ron Johnson is on a statewide bus tour in the closing stretch of the state Senate race, making stops today in Portage, Mauston, and Dodgeville. He met with supporters there and believes his Senate experience gives him an edge in the race against Mandela Barnes.
There's a very clear choice between the two candidates. I've got a lifetime of experience raising a family, building a business, creating good-paying manufacturing jobs here in Wisconsin. Pretty proud of my record as a U.S. Senator. And my tax cut for more than 20 million tax filers, helped small business compete against the big guys and survive the pandemic.
Johnson's bus tour goes through next Monday, the day before midterms. Well, Johnson isn't the only person running for office touring the state. So are the candidates for state attorney general.
Democratic incumbent Josh Call campaigned in Wausau alongside the mayor there and also the Portage County District Attorney, touting some of the key accomplishments during his time as AG, and is now asking the legislature to funnel more money to local governments.
It's so vital that we do that because it's our local governments that fund local law enforcement. It's our local governments that fund other critical local services. This is the way that we can get the resources we need to get to our communities to keep our communities safe and to make them safer where we need to do that.
Running against Call is Fond du Lac District Attorney Eric Toney. He held his own news conference in Madison this afternoon, criticizing the Attorney General for the vacancies in the Department of Justice.
Well, if you talk to any police chief or sheriff, just about every single police agency in Wisconsin does it differently. When they get a vacancy, they start to immediately fill those positions. That's what I will do as Attorney General.
Toney said a consequence of unfilled positions is that Call is not prioritizing public safety. Democrats and Republicans are using the same playbook in their fight for control of Congress.
Candidates on both sides of the aisle are using star power to get out the vote. Natalie Brand explains from Capitol Hill.
With just 8 days until the election, more than 21 million Americans have already voted, according to the U.S. Elections Project.
I was in there, took 3 minutes.
Quick, in and out. I was in there less than 10 minutes.
Very easy, very simple, in and out.
Turnout remains at a record pace for midterms in Georgia, home to one of the most competitive Senate races this election season.
You saw Obama came in this past weekend.
While campaigning for U.S. Senate Monday, Republican Herschel Walker referenced the big name who visited the Peach State Friday to campaign for his opponent, Democratic incumbent Raphael Warnock.
He's been misleading people all his life, hasn't he? Because he told us to vote for Joe Biden. What is he doing for us right now?
My point is not that being a football player disqualifies you from being a senator if you had put in the work. But in the case of Reverend Warnock's opponent, there is very little evidence that he has taken any interest.
In this final stretch, the most competitive battlegrounds will get a series of high-profile visits this week as both sides hone in on their closing messages. Tuesday, former President Obama heads to Nevada, where there's a tight Senate race between Democratic incumbent Catherine Cortez Masto and Republican Adam Laxalt.
You can't take anything for granted in Nevada.
President Biden will also return to the campaign trail this week with stops in Florida Tuesday and New Mexico later this week. Former President Trump is holding rallies for Republicans in Florida, Ohio, Iowa, and Pennsylvania. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Still ahead tonight at 6, 5 days after his conviction, Darrell Brooks was back in court today.
Not for very long, though, like he did many times during his trial. Antics got him kicked out. We'll show you next.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at Lens Crafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
A 12-year-old girl can't legally drive a car. At 12, she can't even vote. But if this little girl were tragically raped or a victim of incest and became pregnant, radical Tim Michaels would force her to deliver the baby. He said it's, quote, not unreasonable for the state government to mandate rape victims to give birth. Would it be unreasonable if he were forcing this on you? Let him know on Election Day.
Black Friday starts now at Steinhoffel's. Time to get your home ready for the holidays. Save 35 to 70% off the entire store and take advantage of in-stock bonus buys while they last. Sofas for every style and budget. Mattresses for a great night's sleep. Dining sets big enough for the whole family. Queen beds of your dreams. It's all on sale during Steinhoffel's Black Friday, starting now at Steinhoffel's and Steinhoffels.com.
It was Halloween. My daughter stopped at 3 homes, her girlfriend's house, her teacher's house, and the man that murdered her. He molested her and he put her in a garbage bag. He was going to be released in 2018. Josh called. He was not there for me at all. You want some help to find out what's going on, and he doesn't help. He don't care about the victims. I know Eric Toney does. Eric Toney helped keep that man that murdered my daughter from being released. Eric Toney's always been there for me, and that's the kind of attorney general we need.
At Stanton Optical, you get great value on eye care, including contacts. Right now, get a 1-year supply of AccuView Oasis and an eye exam for only $189. Scan now to book your eye exam. Yay, technology.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Continuing coverage tonight, Darrell Brooks back in a courtroom 5 days after a jury found him guilty on all 76 counts stemming from last November's Waukesha Christmas parade tragedy. He'll be sentenced to prison in a little over 2 weeks on November 15th and 16th.
And as we've seen before during the trial, Brooks was moved to another courtroom this afternoon after arguing with Judge Jennifer Doro, this time claiming he was wearing a shock device around his ankle and that the jury should have known that.
That's why I had the black cloth in front of the table so it couldn't be shown. That's why I had a chair sitting on the side of me that was told needs to cover up the fact that I had a shock device on my ankles.
Prosecutors say dozens of victims and their families wish to speak during sentencing, a process which could take several hours. New information tonight on that vicious attack on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband last week. Law enforcement sources tell CNN investigators the FBI interviewed Paul Pelosi at the hospital this weekend, and Mr. Pelosi provided details of the attack.
The alleged attacker, David DePapi, has been charged with 2 federal crimes, assault and attempted kidnapping. He is said to have brought zip ties, duct tape, and the hammer used to assault Mr. Pelosi during Friday's break-in at their San Francisco home.
These families aren't in office. And even if they were, nobody deserves to have a violent assault and attack because they're doing their jobs. I mean, we can all disagree. We need some civility here. And I just, you know, it's pathetic in my view.
Mr. Pelosi is recovering after having surgery to repair a skull fracture and serious injuries to his right arm and hands. He is expected to make a full recovery. DePapi is expected to be charged with multiple felonies, including attempted homicide and assault with a deadly weapon. His first court appearance scheduled for tomorrow. More news ahead after the break.
Some possible big changes could be coming to influential users on Twitter after Elon Musk's first weekend in charge. Those details coming up. And Gary is back with a check of your forecast. Stay with us.
Not all accidents happen on busy freeways. They happen in neighborhoods like yours. No matter where your accident happened, Gruber Law Offices is here to help. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
In every corner of our state, Wisconsinites feel the impact of a changing climate, from the effects on our crops and livestock to the damage to our roads and highways. That's why Governor Tony Evers has a plan to take action and protect our state. It will get Wisconsin to 100% clean energy, lower power bills, grow our local economies, and create more than 40,000 jobs right here in Wisconsin. Tony Evers, focused on doing the right thing for Wisconsin families.
Don't miss the 33rd Annual Winter Art Fair off the Square, November 12th and 13th at the Monona Terrace Convention Center. Featuring over 100 Wisconsin exhibitors with a wonderful selection of ceramics, paintings, glass art, wood, jewelry, and much more. Place your bids at our silent auction Saturday only. Children will enjoy the Young Collectors Corner. Buy local for the holidays. The Winter Art Fair off the Square. Put it on your calendar today.
Stock up and save at Menards. DuPont air filters can reduce harmful airborne particles by up to 75%. We carry a variety of sizes in stock, so you can breathe easy. All DuPont air filters are 11% off. Menards also carries a great selection of motor oils to keep your vehicle running smoothly. Quaker State Motor Oils controls wear and tear on your engine. Save 11% on Quaker State Motor Oils at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Democrats defunded and dispirited our police, creating the worst crime wave in decades. Biden spent us into 40-year high inflation, drove gas prices to record levels, and opened our borders, causing a flood of illegal immigrants and deadly drugs. Mandela Barnes supports all the policies causing you and your family so much pain. He will rubber stamp their liberal agenda. Mandela Barnes sides with radical leftists, not with you.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
We all share the same roads, but when an accident happens, we don't always share the same consequences. Gruber Law Offices has been fighting and winning for people injured by big trucks for more than 30 years. One call, that's all.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
The town of Madison is officially no more. It's been officially absorbed into the cities of Madison and Fitchburg. Fitchburg says it gained 1,500 new residents, with its population now at 32,500 people. That is not reflected, though, in the newest population sign, which was shown off today, because those numbers are from the 2020 census.
Mayor Aaron Richardson says Fitchburg's newest residents will now have access to services such as its senior center, public library, and recreation program.
We hope many people here in this neighborhood can come out to and participate in now that they're officially part of Fitchburg.
Because of Fitchburg's growth, Richardson says his budget, if passed, creates 20 new staff positions for the city and around 200 total staff members. That will be voted on tomorrow night. Elon Musk survived his first weekend at the helm at Twitter. One of his first changes he'd like to see, charging for that coveted blue badge. A blue check mark lets people know that an account of public interest is authentic and verified. According to internal Twitter documents, the update would have verified users paying $20 a month for the subscription service. If existing verified users don't start paying within 90 days, they could lose their badge.
Gary's back with your first warn forecast, and we have been spoiled so far for so long. Continuing a real treat tonight, Gary.
Yeah, and that will continue on for the next couple of days as well. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. High temperatures should be back to around 70 degrees or above for the next 3 days. A week ago, we had those 70-degree temperatures and thought, that's pretty much it for the season. One more chance in the next 3 days will be that. And you can see dry weather through Thursday evening, so not only will it be mild, it will also be dry as well. But showers and perhaps even a few thunderstorms in the forecast for Friday. Some showers Saturday will come to an end on Sunday's return a little cooler, but temperatures will still be above normal for next weekend. Notice next 3 days, high temperatures in the lower 70s. Then we drop back into the lower to middle 60s for Friday and Saturday and around 60 on Sunday. And then temperatures drop back to around or even slightly below normal as we head into the early part of next week. The Climate Prediction Center outlook, new ones came out today. This was the old one that was issued in the middle part of October for the month of November, calling for above above normal temperatures to our south and west of Madison with equal chances above or below normal temperatures. But take a look at the new outlook that was issued today, calling for a much higher chance of above normal temperatures for November. And as far as precipitation is concerned, the old outlook had less than normal precipitation across the southern part of the United States. The new one now shifts that to the east coast, with the Pacific Northwest having high probabilities of above normal precipitation, which is good news for them. That drought, certainly any kind of rain and snow out there will help to at least break up at least some of the drought. But right now, with the jet stream coming in flat from the west, there's not a lot of moisture, and you can see just some high clouds in the northern part of the Midwest. This weather system to the south had some moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, but now it's pulling off to the east, and we're right in between. And Wisconsin had sunny skies all day today. There's a weak cold front to the north, but it becomes stationary to the west, so that front will stay up to the north, keeping any cold air north of the U.S.-Canadian border. Skies are mainly clear here. Temperatures right now in the middle 50s. These temperatures will fall off pretty quickly tonight thanks to the clear skies that are expected. Compared to 24 hours ago, they're about the same, but again, those temperatures will be a little warmer for tomorrow. On future track, notice the clear skies overnight. Plenty of sunshine, southwesterly winds for tomorrow. High temperatures around 70 degrees, and that'll be the case for the next couple of days. Planning your night, 39 for the low in Madison, 41 in Oregon, 40 in DeForest with mostly clear skies across the rest of southern Wisconsin, 39 in Platteville, 38 degrees in Watertown, and 39 in Baraboo. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, even milder than today. High temperature, 70 degrees. And as we look at the 7 to 10-day forecast, more of that in the forecast for Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, a little more cloud cover. Showers, perhaps a few thunderstorms Friday. Saturday, temperatures still in the mid-60s with some showers. And then look for the showers to end on Sunday. Dry weather for next week, but then again, temperatures will drop off to the middle 40s by the time Election Day rolls around.
And coming up in sports, Badger volleyball reaping the benefits of not one, but 2 wins over top 10 teams this past week. We got more details coming up after the break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
All units, all units. Reports of an abortion at Central Hospital. Officers needed to detain doctor.
If Ron Johnson has his way, he wouldn't just ban abortions. Doctors could go to jail for it. And Johnson's tried for over a decade. He even co-sponsored a bill with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the woman. And said if women don't like an abortion ban, they can just move. But it's Ron Johnson who doesn't belong in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know what needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
I'll never forget January 6th, watching my fellow law enforcement officers defending the Capitol, defending our freedoms, defending democracy, and then 5 officers died. But Ron Johnson is making excuses for rioters who tried to overthrow our government, even calling them peaceful protests. Johnson defended Donald Trump's lies and even supported efforts to make it harder for some people to vote at all. Senator Johnson's just not for us.
And Citizens United is responsible for the content of this ad.
They say you eat with your eyes first, so here's a good look at our new thick and fluffy French toast. Artisan challah dipped in vanilla cinnamon batter. French toast the way it's meant to be. Try all 3 flavors, only at IHOP. Download the app and earn free food with every purchase.
Radical Tim Michaels is extremely divisive.
I don't care who I offend.
And at his company, the culture comes from the top. Multiple court filings say women were sexually assaulted, harassed, and pressured to have sex with their bosses.
If she refused demands for sex, she would be blackballed from working on a pipeline job.
Higher-ups dismissed the women as liars and fired those who spoke out.
I don't care who I offend.
That's how Tim Michaels runs his company. Don't let him run our state.
News 3 Now presented an exclusive debate between Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul and challenger Eric Toney, going head-to-head, making their cases why they should get your vote. And only News 3 Now brought you the debate live, your local election headquarters.
After his impressive week of play, Wisconsin volleyball is getting rewarded twofold. Sarah Franklin is the Big Ten co-player of the week after posting a match-high 21 kills in the sweep of #1 Nebraska. She followed up that performance with a match-high 18 kills against 9th-ranked Minnesota. Well, the Badgers, with those wins over top 10 opponents, they move up in the rankings. Wisconsin is now 3rd in the AVCA top 25 poll. The Badgers hit the road Thursday for a match with Illinois. First serve is set for 7. Wisconsin football is back after a much-needed week off. The bye week allowed Keanu Benton to go walleye fishing, Jake Chaney to pick apples at an apple orchard for the first time in his life. And most importantly, the Badgers got healthy. For the first time since week 1, Hunter Wohler is expected to play, and his presence at practice along with a handful of other bathroom injuries has energized UW.
Just the fact that we think that a number of guys can be available that have not been in really a big capacity in a while. That's exciting here for this last stretch of the season.
I mean, it was huge. You know, I kind of got to steal 2 weeks. You know, kind of that Purdue week and the bye week is huge for my body, not just my knee, so everything in general. You know, just let my body kind of relax, recuperate.
And don't forget to tune into this week's Badger Blueprint. Zach and Jim Polzine will talk about the team's focus coming off the bye week as they get ready to host Maryland on Saturday. The Blueprint airs Wednesday night during News 3 Now at 10. Another week, another loss for the Packers. This one snaps the team's streak of 13 straight primetime wins. So for the first time since 2016, the Green and Gold are riding a 4-game skid. The Packers went into Buffalo knowing how tough this game was going to be. Well, with the Bills jumping out to a 14-point lead in the second quarter, then you have this highlight reel Aaron Rodgers to Romeo Doubs connection that cuts into a 1-score game. That gives the team some life, some hope. But that's a short time, though. Bills take a double-digit lead into halftime. Now with the deficit, coupled with injuries, penalties, last-minute lineup shuffles, it ended up being the perfect storm for Green Bay.
That's kind of what's been going on with us, you know. Throw a touchdown to Bobby, get a penalty, come back, have a big kickoff return, have a penalty. Think we're getting all our guys back for a week, and then somebody's out. So nobody feels sorry for us. We got to find a way to get one win. I feel like if we can just get one, and the whole momentum changes.
2 weeks in, Giannis is already getting honored. He earns Eastern Conference Player of the Week after averaging almost 36 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 assists over 3 games. Bucks are the last undefeated team. They're going to try to keep it that way tonight when they host the Pistons.
All right, now before we go, fitting for Halloween, a NASA observatory captured an image of the sun that for some looks a bit like a jack-o'-lantern. It shows what are actually splotches on the sun's surface that are cooler than the surrounding areas. The image was taken by NASA's Space-Based Solar Dynamics Observatory. While NASA calls it a smiling sun, some Twitter users saw something other than a jack-o'-lantern. Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, I see it.
I see the smiling face.
I see the smiley.
So,
yeah.
So Gary, we saw lots of sun today, but what's up with the tie? That's a little out of character for a Bear fan.
Well, did you fall down and hit your head?
No. See, I'm trying to scare people. I can't dress up for Halloween, so you know I might become a Packers fan, right?
Boo! Okay, got it.
There you go.
Well, you had a great forecast for trick-or-treaters out there.
Yeah, there's the view, live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam. How's that for a sunset there? Right now, 56 Madison, 63 Lone Rock, 63 in Janesville, across Dane County, 61 in Edgerton, 55 in Sun Prairie, and 53 in Waukee.
All right,
This
Gary.
is just not right.
Yeah, it just seems weird. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.